Hello everyone, my name is Sonali Gupta. Today I am going to explain the project that I was recently completed. And it was in a data bank data analysis with the SQL. With the name, it was clear that the project was purely related with the SQL. So in this video, I will tell you like from where I got the data set and how I approached the problem, what and all analysis I made, what kind of SQL queries I performed, and trans transform the raw data into a meaningful insights and provide the recommendations to the management so that it can perform a better analysis, make a better decision from it. So if you want to know and understand about this project in detail, so watch till the end. And so let's start it. So this is the agenda of the project. So in first we will going to discuss about the introduction about the company, like what is the data bank, what it is all about. Then we will discuss about what is the problem statement, what is the problem they are facing, where they are lacking, and why they need us to solve the problems. And then we will discuss about the data overview, and further we will get into the query results and the insights, and then at the end the recommendations from the insights what we recommended so that they can better decisions. So the what is the data bank? So data bank is like a digital bank. Its branches not only its branches not present in any physical area. It is available only in a digital form. And what is the main role about this data bank? This is not just provide the banking activities. Instead of providing the banking activities, they will provide the banking activities including the banking activity. They also provide the storage, like cloud storage data platform for their customers for tracking their account balance and analyzing the data. So what is the problem statement? Like what is the problem these banks are facing? So first the problem they are facing, like they want to expand their customer base in multiple countries, and so they need us for calculating some key metrics that provide a growth for their better decision making. So I forgot to tell you like from where I got this data. So this is the open source data set. You can also get it from a Google. It was in a part of an 8-week SQL challenge Dynamo. So from where I got the data set, and then I approach understand the problem and understand this is all about the imaginary company, and all of the basis of this I provide the insights and the perform analysis and all of these things. So this is the data overview. In this data, there are three tables are present. First is the regions table, in which the region ID and the region name is present. So the region ID is an integer. Integer is a data type for an ID, and this is all about the data overview. And the region name is for the region name, the data type is the varchar. Varchar means is the variable character. And another table is the customer notes, in which we have a data of the customer notes assignment, and where customers are randomly assigned to which regions. All of these based on the customer ID, region ID, node ID, their start date and end date, like from which period to which till date they are assigned to that particular region. All of this information we have on customer notes. And then another table we have is a customer transaction. This is a very important table because it hold all the data of the transactions related to all the customers in this bank, like what is the transaction date, the transaction type, and the amount. So like a transaction type is we have in any bank we have basically three kinds of a transaction we seen, like a deposit, credit, withdrawal. All of these are all about the data. So let's discuss about the queries and how I write these queries, what and all functions I used in, and how I get the insights from these queries. And I also use a Power BI also for visualizing some queries results. So like in this question we seen, like we identify like there are a total 5 unique nodes present in the data bank system. For this, how I write this query? For this, I use the simple SQL function like count aggregation function for getting a total count, and customer notes is a table name. So I write down this query and then got the result as a 5 unique notes we have. And in the next question, we have to identify the how many nodes are specified in particular regions. So for this, we seen that there are Australia. First, we talk about the insights, then we will go to the query. So what the result we are getting? So by identifying this, we seen that the Australia has a maximum number of nodes. So what it what it provide, it has an insights like it has a large customer penetration in the Australia in comparison to the Europe, because the Europe has a very less number of nodes in comparison to the Australia. So these kind of analysis we can make, and we can suggest some solution like we have to try to increase more customer penetration in the Asia and the Europe region in comparison to the Australia. These kind of analysis we can make. And this is the bar chart showing the different levels of a region, different level of a nodes in particular regions, and this visualization I created in the Power BI. So for this, what query I wrote it down, it was in simple query. I used the mainly the important function, and that is join. Join, why we use join? Because we have to join the two table. Because we don't have in a data only in a one table. So I joined two table like customer node with the reasons with the same. For joining any two table, we have to join with a common name. So I write down in the bracket region ID. Region ID is the unique and the common ID between both the table. So for this, I write this query and then it will provide the result. And I also use the group by function for grouping the data so that they provide the correct region, and the order ID for sorting the data. So in the next question, we will see that how many customers are allocated to the each region. This also provides the same result like as we see earlier. Like Australia has a more customer penetration. That's why it has a more number of nodes allocation in the Australia region. After that, the America, and then the Africa. These kind of a result we see. The query we write it down in the same way we wrote the earlier query. And for all the query we perform these, we write this query in the MySQL server. So in this question, what we need to identify, we need to identify like how many days on average our customer are reallocated to a different nodes, like how much time they take. So as a result, we got the answer it as in 14.63 days. Like on an average, they get this much of time for allocating a user from a one node to a different node, like from any specific node to another node. And why we are reallocating to a different kinds of nodes? Because we need to make sure of a data security in a today's world. There is very much essential to make data secure, because from our hackers and there are so many fraud and activities are going on. So we need to make sure of it. Like if we are making a password of anything, so we need to continuously change it, because it was not be our data is to be secure. That kind of things we need to make sure. For that, we have to reallocate and rechange our things. So for this, what query I wrote it down, we use the dated function. This is a very important function. Why dated function is used? This is used for calculating a difference between a two dates. I want to calculate a date between I want a average days. So that's why I use a dated if. Inside it, we pass a parameter end date and a start date. It calculated a difference between these two dates, and then we find the average from this and the round the value to the two places only, because it show after decimal place it show the two digits only. That's why we use. And for the where clause, we filter out the result, because we don't want the active customers. That's why we type this particular date, because in some database this date is treated as an active customers. So from this we get our result. So in the next question, we have to identify the median 18th 80th 95th percentile reallocation days matrix for each region. So for this, I used a with a statement like this is a CTE, like a common table expression. It is used for creating a temporary table. It has a limited data visibility, like data visibility and the data access in within a particular city. So inside this city, what we did, we first calculated the difference between the two dates. Then we use a partition window function. Why we use window function? Because we have to make the row number assigned to each row, and accordingly we have to count it. And then after that we use a conditional statement after the temporary table. As we see that we use a case when statement. For a median we use a 50 percentile. 50 for a 50 percentile we multiplied with 0.5. So these kind of analysis, this way I write down the query and we get the result as in Africa. Like I also provided the insights in the written form also. Like median reallocation days is 15 in all over the regions, and 80 percentile range between 23 to 25, 24 days. This way we can make the insights from this. And this is our next question. In this we are identifying the unique count and the total amount for each transaction type. Like for any bank, these are the main three types of a transaction we are seeing, like deposit, withdrawal, and the purchase. So as we seen, like most of the transactions, most of the amount was in the deposit type of account, and after that it was followed by the purchase and then withdrawal. And the unique count ratio has more in the deposit than the purchase and then withdrawal. For this we write a simple query. For getting a different count and a unique count, we use a distinct keyword, and count and sum are both are the aggregation functions. So as per this output we make we provide the insights like deposit. Mostly customer deposits their money in the bank, so that's why their amount is high. And as we see, like withdrawal is less in comparison to a purchase. This is the reason. This is because like most of the people are nowadays facing a digital, like a cashless transaction if they want to buy anything. So they just directly purchase, making an UPI transaction or anything like this. So they don't go to any bank for first withdrawing the amount from any bank and then get the cash, and then if they want to buy anything then they go to the physical store. Sometimes they go, but usually right nowadays the people are don't have much time and all of these things. They make saves our time and make the life easier. So that's why this kind of analysis we can draw it from this. And this is also I provided the result in Power BI. And in the next question we have to calculate the average total historical deposit count and their amount for all the customers. So as we see, like for this we also use the temporary city for calculating a according to a deposit we want to calculate a transaction count and their average amount, and then after we fetch the result from that particular city for getting an average deposit count. So in this, as a result, we've seen that each customer make approximately 5.34 deposit transactions. And what was their deposit amount? Their deposit amount is 508.61. So this is in this question we need to identify, like for each month, how many data bank customer make more than one deposit and either one purchase or one withdrawal in a single month. So for this question I faced some problem in solving this question. Not a problem, like I got stuck because it asks for 2 or 3 conditions. So we need to identify like what the customer, like what someone asked, like how we can draw the result from this. If the question was not provided, like how we can draw the analysis from this. So firstly, we don't have a month column in this, and we don't have any deposit count and any count So we have to calculate all these things in one query itself. So for this we write the CTE, we choose CTE, and inside this we choose a month function for getting a month number. As we seen as an output, we get as in 4 month, and after that we use a sum aggregation function. Inside this we got an transaction type. According to a transaction type, we got a different counts for a particular thing, like for a deposit transaction type, how many deposit counts are there, these kind of uh, aggregation we did, and we group by these all things with the customer ID and the month. And after the CTE, we choose what we want to show as a result. So we want only two columns. First is a month and the second is a customer count column. For an customer count, we choose a distant function, and then for specifying these two conditions, first we want the deposit. So for this we use, for filtering out any condition, we use with the a where condition. So for an where condition, we specify the deposit count if it is greater than 1, and the another condition, what is it? It should be one purchase or a one withdrawal. So we I'm specifying inside the or condition both of these functions. So we get the result, it as in like number of active customers making more than one deposit along with at least one purchase or one withdrawal. These kind of analysis we make, and from this we identify that the it was for an deposit for any customer count increase from January to March is a good quantity. Like from January it is 168 and to March it is 192. But in the April month it was very declined. The customer activity is really declined. So what is the reason behind it? So it may be because like financial year ends in a March. So from April the activities of the customers are starting. So these are some reasons, might be because of that the customer count is decreasing in April month. So in this question, we have to identify the closing balance for each customer at the end of a month. So in any bank, it is necessary to track their closing balance, like if it is in a positive or in a negative. So how we can get the closing balance for this? We all know the common formula. Like we have to take a total deposit and subtract it from a withdrawal and a purchase, so we can get a closing balance. We use a CT in this case also, and here we use one important function, and this is our part window function, and inside it we use a row between unbounded preceding and the current row. Why we use this function and the sum window function? Because we want a running total from a last month. That's why. And we use row between unbounded preceding because we want from a first row to till the current row the total balance. So that's why we use, because we want a clear result. Like if what is the running total, if you might get confused, like if for in first month, if I have an account balance of a 500 rupees, then in this another month we have an account balance of a 200. So that means the running total for this second month will be is 700 rupees. So this is the running total means. So in this way we can see every customer has a different varying closing balance, and they're fluctuating from positive to negative. Why it is negative? Because I think they withdraw more than their sufficient balance in their account. That's why it was showing as a negative. So in this way, further analysis we make, like we have to identify the active customer from the last 3 months. So in this data set, we have an data for 2022 month, and the current year was running is 2025. So we don't have any active customer. So that's why it's showing as in 0. And for getting an active customer, function we use a date function for getting a current date, like a today's date. And date sub function we use because we want to subtract from a last 3 months, because we want the transaction for a last 3 months. That's why it's this function we are using it. And in this we find the 3 regions that have a highest total deposit amount. So by this we analyze, like America has a good amount of a total deposit. It shows like many customers are deposit their amount in their banks, followed by the Australia and then the Asia. And this in this query we join both three table that we have in for this data, and we filter it out with the transaction type as deposit, because we want the result for a deposit only. And we use a limit function because we want only top three reason. That's why we use a limit function. And in this question, we have to find when did each customer make their first ever transaction. So for identifying the first transaction, it is very easy. Like we use a main function. Why we use main function? Because it provides the earliest date for the any transaction. Earliest date means their first transaction. So this output is not showing all the details of all the customer, because it was not possible to attach in a one picture. So that's why I just show the brief and idea about this. So, and what is the order of precedence in any query? In an SQL, every SQL function is a start from a from statement, because that it should pick the table first, and after that they followed the process like after from, where, group by, having, order by, and select is write it down in the first, but it not executed in the first way. This is the SQL process of execution. Every in this we see that every customer has a different transaction rate, and it is obvious like how it can be same for all the customer. Every customer has a unique way, so their timeline and their transaction rate is also varied. So based on these insights, I made some recommendations to the management team so that they can do some better decision for improving their data bank functionality in all the countries. So what is our first recommendation? They have to try to boost the digital transaction. They are doing good in the digital form, as we see like the customer are not doing much withdrawal, they just prefer a purchase directly. But they also introduce some rewards program for a digital purchase, so that this way they encourage a customer to buy a product, and it will uh, make a customer good, so they can purchase more from their bank, from directly deposit their bank. And the other recommendation we make, like the customer retention is a very important part. Like if when customer is associated with any bank, they should not with try to open with any other bank, because in any way like in every field there is a competition. If there is a one bank, there is another bank also, they are providing some facilities, so we need to have to make sure like they are providing some exclusive benefits and some advanced things, some advantage to their customers, so that the customer is retained to their bank only, this kind of a thing. And the another one is a reallocation optimization. They should limit the frequent node reallocation for their loyal customers. And another one is withdrawal balance, encourage the cashless transaction with a minimum withdrawal charges. Like if the customer is withdrawing, so their charges should not be more. And what is the another? And this is a personalized offer. We should provide some bonus cloud storage based deposit amount, so that they can choose this bank for a better way, and for analyzing the result. So this is all about the project that I was recently completed, and I was made. And if you have any questions and suggestions for me, then please share your views and thoughts in the comment section. And if you like this video and found this helpful, and anything else you want to share with me, then please share in the comment section, and like the video. And thank you for watching.